Okay, well, it's that time of year again, in the summer months. Time of year I particularly enjoy catching those big flat fish. I'm just going to take you through a few baits that I use in our sort of home waters here in Natal to catch your sandies and your diamonds and your big flat fish that you do get in the area. First of all, I'm going to start you off with a mackerel. Quite a big bait, mainly used for catching your big diamonds, sand sharks and honeycombs. Okay, what you want to do is measure up about halfway down the bait, cut straight through, and just cut it into a triangle shape at the end, just to make it a bit more streamlined. Once you've got your bait cut, you want to make a series of light cuts across the top of the nose and underneath the mouth like this. This is basically just so that the cotton has somewhere to hold and it doesn't slip off the end of the nose of the bait. Right, once you've cut your mackerel head into its shape like that, you want to take the other half of your mackerel, the tail section, and cut some thin cutlets straight through, which you're going to end up binding onto the side of the head for a bit more of a bigger bait and to let out the smells a lot more. Okay, you just want to cut straight through. Make sure you've got a sharp knife. Cut 2 pieces. Right, once you've cut your cutlets, I often make a bait up before I put my hook in, especially a bigger bait. It just makes it a lot easier for me to put my hook in and have the bait ready made. I'm going to start off by just putting the one cutlet on the side of the head like that, and then just bind it on with cotton. Once you've done the first one, bind the second one on the other side. Okay, once you've bound your bait together, grab your hook. You're going to take your hook, put it in dead center underneath the bottom of the mackerel, bring it out right through the top and try to keep it as straight as possible. Once your hook is in the bait like that, you're going to pick up your cotton again and you're going to bind just behind the hook here, just to hold it on the hook itself. Once you've gone around a few times, tie the cotton off. And there's your bait. Okay. There's your bait. Looks nice and proud. Generally, it's quite a basic trace for these sort of fish. It's a bit of 8-0 nylon, 080 or 090. Not too long, each snoot's about 40 centimeters, and the hook you want to be just short of the sinker so that when you're casting, your bait and your sinker are together like that. It makes it a lot easier when swinging for your cast. Okay, next I want to take you through a chocker and a red-eye bait, mainly used for brown skates in our area. The trace as well, a bit different. It's a bit shorter with a different sinker and a smaller hook. If you have a look here, trace is relatively short, each snoot more or less 30-35 centimeters, and I've gone with a cone sinker. These sinkers don't fix themselves in the sand, so they actually move around a little bit out there. And when trying to find a brown skate on a bank, it's quite nice to have a bit of movement. Right, you want to start off by cutting down the body of the chocker, not all the way through. You just want to cut it open so that you've got a big flap to work with. Pull the head out, keep that, we're going to be using it. Pull the backbone out and then skin it. Easiest way to skin it is to grab the 2 wings that they have, slip your finger in behind it like that and pull. Okay, now that you've opened up your chocker, you're going to cut a series of strips more or less the same size, and then you're going to bind them all together before you put your hook in. Okay, your strips are going to be around about 10 to 12 centimeters long. Just cut through the chocker. There's one strip. There's another strip. Finally your third strip. Right, once you've got your 3 strips, you want to lie them all on top of each other. Don't beat them with your chocker hammer. Keep them fairly hard, because you're going to be making yourself a nice base to wrap some bait around. Just pile the 3 strips on top of each other like that. Hold it firmly in your hand and use your cotton to bind them together, just the top half. Once you've bound your bait together like that, you now want to grab your hook, put it through the first flap at the top, through once, pull it through and put it back in about halfway down. You want to push the hook through, back out, and just pull your line tight. Once you've done that, bind it all up, and that's the base for your bait. Right, that serves as the base of your bait. Also got quite a bit of movement with these tassels at the back. Now you want to take your head of your chocker and you want to cut down the center, separating the 2 eyes apart. Right, you want to put your knife in the center. Make sure your knife is nice and sharp and cut straight through. Once you've done that, on the inside is their beak. You just want to pull that out so that you're left with half the head like that. Okay, once you've done that, take your bait and the hook, and you want the hook to come out just in front of the eye. So you want to come through from underneath, about there, push it right through. Slide the head around and line it up and get ready to cotton it on, just like that. Okay, what you want to do here is, the eye of the chocker is the most important part. It stands out the most in the water, so you want it to be quite pronounced and stand out a lot more than the rest of the bait. So a way to do that is to bind your cotton very close to it. Bind just in front of it, just behind it, as you can see, I've bound the cotton just behind and just in front of the eye, which has made the eye bulge out quite nicely. Once you've done that, just want to finish your bait off. Okay. There's your bait, the one-eye monster we call it. Excellent for brown skates on the Natal coast. Looks just like a squid that they like to feed on. I'm sure if you throw that out there on the banks, you'll get a few bites.